In this series of presentations, we shall explore some of the key concepts related to the practice of spiritual Christianity. Every spiritual practice is built on a set of theological and philosophical principles, and our aim here is to provide an overview of those key principles upon which the practice of spiritual Christianity is founded. The system of thought from which this practice is drawn can be found in those works revealed through the Lord's servant, Emanuel Swedenborg, which open up inner levels of meaning within the biblical text that has direct application to the inner life of the mind and its spiritual development. The works penned by Swedenborg offer a revolutionary rethink on the nature and use of the Bible as a guide for spiritual life. In addition to this, they provide profound insights into the person and life of Jesus Christ that enables a shift in our understanding in which every aspect of his life is able to be read symbolically, so as to describe the operation of divine truth within the human mind. These are topics of profound depth and beyond us here in this opening presentation, but are something we shall return to as we progress our exploration of things. No topic could be of greater importance to the psychological and spiritual health of the human mind than one that deals with the nature of that being from whom all that exists come into being, and the basis for its manifestation in the conscious awareness of those it creates. It is our hope that this exploration might help us better understand the operation of the divine life within the human mind, and also provide insights into those laws that govern our spiritual development and give rise to the infinite variety found in the states of affection and thought that characterizes individual and collective human consciousness. Such knowledge is of incalculable value so far as providing an understanding of the inner processes involved in opening the human mind to the fullness of its spiritual potential. Spiritual Christianity teaches that we are born into the world naturally minded, and that it is not until we undergo a process of having our spiritual faculties open that we become truly human in the full sense of the word. This process can be considered to be a spiritual rebirth that takes place over a long period in which a love for higher things is implanted as the basis for our life. The regeneration or recreation of the human mind into a spiritual form involves the establishment of a conscious reconnection with the divine. As the basis for this reconnection is love, it must be something that is freely chosen. A spiritual life or practice involves being willing to work at identifying entrenched ways of being that resist the inflow of the divine life, so that their influence can be lessened through living from higher spiritual principles. It is through the removal of what resists higher influences that higher spiritual principles are integrated into our life. It is through the practice of spiritual truths that a conscious connection with the Lord God, who is the Creator, Sustainer, and Source of life, is established. What we believe and how our beliefs are organized has an undeniable influence on how we experience life. What is perhaps not so clearly seen is that the quality of our experience of life can be traced back to the beliefs we hold. For these surround and give form to what we love above all else. What sits in the inmost part of the human mind is what is loved most. This love's influence extends from that center as a constant force that organizes every affection, every thought, every sensation, and every experience into a form that reflects itself. In that reflection is our self-image, and it is this that governs what the human mind finds its delight and pleasure in and determines the quality of its life. As we shall see, the structure of the human mind is multidimensional, made up of more internal and more external levels. The internal level concerns itself with internal realities that have to do with the development of the spiritual dimension to life, while the external level concerns itself with things that belong to the external or natural dimension of life. What this essentially means is that there are different ideas that influence the development of different planes of the mind. The lower levels of the mind are open to the world and are grounded in material objects. Spiritual ideas, however, have mental objects as their basis, and these are those ideas that teach us about spiritual life, what are referred to as spiritual truths. Our focus throughout this series of presentations is on those concepts found in the teachings for spiritual Christianity that have been revealed for the purpose of supporting, opening, and developing the spiritual or inner life of the mind. Just as life in the natural world is open to us through acquiring knowledge of the various laws, mores, and cultural conventions that govern our social, moral, and civil life in the world, so too there is a need to acquire an intellectual knowledge and working sense of those higher laws that govern the spiritual dimension of life if we are to participate in that life more fully. With such knowledge we will be in a better position to align our lives in accord with higher laws, so that we can enter as conscious participants into those processes that govern the reformation of our mental structures into a form that can support the regeneration of our mind into the image and likeness of newly implanted loves of a higher order. However, we need to be aware that the spiritual dimension of life remains closed to the degree that a person is immersed in external life matters and its ideas of space and time. This means that a person can be extremely accomplished in external life and yet be oblivious to the spiritual laws and powers that govern their inner states of mind. Due to this lack of knowledge, they tend to attribute all that they experience inwardly, especially how they are impacted in terms of their emotional life, to causes outside themselves in the external world. The teachings for spiritual Christianity demonstrate the fallacious nature of this way of viewing life, and offers a coherent perspective of reality that challenges the conclusions we tend to draw from associating an external event as the cause of an inner emotional state. Such associations and the false conclusions we draw from them tends to keep us tied to our physical senses as the basis for determining what is real. The doctrines for spiritual Christianity are able to unfold the deeper meaning in the teachings of Jesus Christ found in the Bible, and so set us free from a purely materialistic view of reality through grounding our perception in higher spiritual and celestial realities. Spiritual Christianity teaches that our potential to become more fully human is actualized through our conscious efforts to integrate higher laws and principles into our life. Our inner mental life is a reflection of what is loved above all else, as what is loved most operates as an irrepressible force, organizing every impression it receives into an image of itself. The human mind is multidimensional, consisting of higher and lower levels. Spiritual Christianity is focused primarily on the development of the inner or spiritual dimension of human consciousness, so that we can more fully cooperate with the operation of the divine life. We have a responsibility to build an intellectual knowledge and working sense of the laws that govern those processes involved in becoming more fully human, and so see our spiritual potential realized. The aim of spiritual Christianity is to offer a spiritual discipline or practice to this end.